Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 6th of February. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take somewhat of data, learn from it, transfer your own charts. I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com and is published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES. Now, ES, we had a nice looking double top setup breakdown yesterday with the target in the 65.8226 area. Does this matter? Possibly. But we don't have any other big topping patterns which are breaking down yet. That doesn't mean we haven't got any other topping patterns formed. It's just this is the only one that's broken down. I'm not really seeing anything confirming on the other indices. In the short term, we've been seeing a bit of a rally. I've got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed on ES, and I've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed on NQ. And I've got another week 60-minute buy signal fixed on YM. In terms of where they are, NQ has sort of a pretty steep decline and was probably might have been the weakest. I think it was the weakest. That's not particularly encouraging for NDX retesting a high, but it might be that we got close enough on the last run. On RTY. Nice looking potential double bottom here, a little bit oversized, but not particularly so. This could be a signal that we can get back up to the previous high. Now, I want you to just have a look at something here. Okay, these are the charts basically including the November lows, and this is the same on all of the others. Here you can see that we got back about 61.8% on ES, that we almost got back completely on NQ. On the RTY, I don't think we even made 38.2. And on YM, maybe marginally more than RTY. But we're not looking, hang on, wait a second, that's not quite the same because this, I need to switch over to 3 months. All right, that's the same. So that was the low here. Actually, this is actually the strongest of all of them. So really, we're not seeing any, we didn't see any meaningful retracement particularly on YM, on RTY, and these are, these are important. Qs were the weakest, and that's not altogether surprising. I mean, I think everybody knows that this is likely to be an AI bubble here, and AI might deliver everything that's promising. It's promising over the next 20 years. But what are the chances it's going to deliver it in the next 2 or 3? About as much chance as Elon Musk's got of getting the still very much on the drawing board Optimus robot into every home over the same period. It's not going to happen. So we're likely in a bubble. I think there's probably even odds of a crash in the next couple of years. And when that happens, and I'm looking out for the topping process for that crash because you generally get one. So we will see how it goes. In fact, I even had a decent looking setup for the crash in 2020. Although, in all honesty, I was a little surprised that people weren't expecting. It had just been so long since we had a pandemic that people weren't really aware of it. I read a lot of history, so I'd kind of been expecting it for years. But I was staggered how utterly unprepared all the governments were. So this is more normal. All right, looking at DAX and ESTX. DAX, possible double bottom here, but it's really oversized. So I just put in a thin line there just to mark the obvious resistance level. And ESTX, kind of looks like a bull flag forming here, and if so, that bull flag has broken up. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts on these. Okay, looking at ES, we got significantly below the daily lower band, and we got, did we actually get a touch of the 3SD lower band? That closed at 67.69, and the low was at 67.80. Yes, that means intraday we probably did touch the 3SD lower band. Generally speaking, you're going to see a pretty good rally from this level, and I'm expecting to see one. And of course, we've still got the remainder of the bull window, which is into the Wednesday after next, and that's a pretty good time to be seeing that rally. We will see how far that gets, but we've got a nice looking double top here that almost broke down. Did it actually break down? Yes, but only marginally. We got 10 points below. It's barely noticeable in terms, basically it's within the thickness of the line. So could we see a rejection back up to the high? Maybe, or we could see a rally and then a continuation down. But as I've been saying, all week. This doesn't look quite cooked to the upside yet. I'd like to see some more work, particularly I think on NDX, ideally a retest if it's strong enough to get one, which is very much open to question. I'd like to see a bit more work on YM and IWM, ideally some high retest there. We will see. All right, looking at the hourly chart, we've got a 60-minute RSI 14 buy signal fixed, so that's nice to see, and we should see that deliver. Nothing really on the RSI 14, the moves were too big. On Qs, we made it down to the 3SD lower band. I've got that at 594.98, and we actually got lower than that at the bottom yesterday, so that's an absolute 100% hit of 3SD lower band. Again, you tend to see a rally after these. When was the last time we saw a hit of the 3SD lower band that didn't result in a rally shortly afterwards? We saw one here, but this is... yeah, I mean, this one is probably fairly comparable, and we could see a rally here and then a lower low, but I'm expecting to see a rally and potentially a lower low anyway in terms of positive divergence. As you can see, we've got no positive divergence on the daily charts, but it wouldn't be hard to set some up with a decent rally and then a retest. Set up some nice looking double bottoms, and then the real rally can begin. Looking at the Qs on the hourly chart, do we have an RSI 14 buy signal fixed? No, but we got one brewing, and we got one fixed on the RSI 5. In terms of 15-minute, not expect to see a lot, but I actually got a 15-minute RSI 14 buy signal fixed there too. Okay, Dire. We made it down below the daily lower band. We didn't make it to the made it down below the daily middle band. We didn't make it back to the daily lower band. Again, this was fairly muted. That's why we haven't got a new 60-minute buy signal here. The move wasn't big enough, and we haven't got anything on the RSI 14 either. Here, this triangle, this isn't continuing. This is finished because the triangle target was a retest of this high here at 496.16, and it's already made that. So next time I'm adjusting this, I'm going to pull the trend lines back to here. So we're not in that now. We could be forming a bullish smaller triangle to take us back up to the retest of the highs. All right, let's have a look at IWM. And on IWM, we saw a move down which got us below the daily lower band, but mainly because actually we've been under the daily lower band for daily middle band for most of the last week anyway. Not a huge decline, only from here, but this of course is likely to be, I think, a bull flag. In terms of the bull flag, did I draw that? Yeah, I didn't get a really nice trend line for that on the 15-minute, but that's basically my drawing what I think the bull flag resistance is. Not going to get, we did nothing in terms of an RSI 14 buy signal, except we already had a weak RSI 14 buy signal fix. I'm looking for high retests. I'm looking for one on IWM, where we don't have any potential topping pattern here at the moment. I'm looking for one on Dow, and in the event that we could find an enthusiastic group of buyers for NDX, maybe NDX2, but I think really I'm skeptical. Maybe where we got to is as close as we're going to get. All right, DAX. DAX made it down to the daily lower band again. I'm quite liking a retest of the high here. The double bottom is a little less oversized here, but still oversized. Nikkei has actually gone a bit higher overnight. We've already beaten this high, so watching for a potential reversal pattern there. We've got a potential double top here, but the higher high will have weakened that, and I'm expecting to see more rally, which will weaken it further. Okay, let's have a look at DX. Now, DX, I'm wondering about a bit of a pullback here, possibly a retest of the low, but I'm not really looking for that. I'm just mainly looking for a pullback. In terms of the IHS, we've broken up with a target in the 98.96 area, and really, I'd like to see us stay above. If this IHS isn't going to fail, I'd like to see us stay above about the 96 and 90 area. Looking at the other currencies, EUR/USD looks like it might see a rally. GBP/USD looks like it might see a rally. USD/JPY could see a pullback here. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed, no obvious pattern. USD CAD, possible part-formed head and shoulders or asymmetric double top here. Wondering about that. Australian dollar looks like a bull flag forming. NZUSD looks like a bull flag forming. So I'm wondering about a bit of a pullback on the dollar here. Now, ZB, this is an interesting one because, well, when I was looking at it earlier, it was more interesting because we'd seen the high yesterday, which was basically on flight to safety. It was a strong enough move that people were starting to get very worried, particularly on crypto. But we were seeing a bit of a bounce up, I think, on the flight to safety trade yesterday. We're giving some of that back now, but not. Oh no, actually, that has given it back about as much as the equities have rallied. ZN the same. This has given back less, and all of that in the last hour. So whereas the rally's been running for longer than that, so I'm looking at that, wondering whether this might be more than that. Looking at CL, I've written on the notes today that this looks like bullish consolidation, possibly a triangle. Same with HO. RBOB, we've got a nice looking little double top here, and that could deliver. Not showing much sign of that so far. NG, this very much looks like a bear flag forming. I've drawn in the obvious flag support. I think this is setting up for a retest of this low. Looking at GC, we saw some nice action on here yesterday, which might have been flight to safety, but it might have been this is a little bull flag which is breaking up, and we're looking for a retest of this high. On SI, nice looking double bottom here, so I'll be watching that with interest. Palladium didn't quite reach the retest of the low. I'm wondering if we're forming a larger flag on gold, on palladium, and platinum made the retest of the low, so we've got a potential double bottom here too. And HG made a higher low, so I'm wondering if we could be forming a larger flag or a triangle here, and delivering a bit more rally. Okay, looking at KC. KC, no current divergence. No, we lost it. Okay, no current divergence. I think this is breaking down from this wedge, but still technically I've left it in because this could be a bullish underthrow. But I'm not really expecting that to be the case. I'm thinking we're going to go below 300. Which has been a time coming. Obviously, we just went, as with Cocoa, we went far outside the comfort zone, and it's now returning. Looking at SB, might be forming a double bottom here, but looks like it needs to go a little lower first. CC, maybe just continuing down, but not a bad looking bottoming setup here, but it might just be a bearish consolidation. CT, we've lost the potential double bottom setups here, and we've continued down. I am not astonished. We've got a possible weak 6-minute buy signal brewing. Lumber, I'm thinking this double bottom may be failing. It's been taking a while to deliver, and the bigger trend is likely to be down. CW, still wondering about this double bottom with it's broken up with a target in the 546.5 to 549 area, and I'm thinking that may still make target. On corn, looks like a bear flag forming. Soy finally made it to the target in the 1104 area with a nice move, and frankly, I'm wondering whether the Chinese have started buying something, but I haven't seen it in the news. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing now and a potential little double top. On ZL, still at several month highs at the moment. Live cattle pulling back a bit, possible topping action here, but I'm not holding my breath. And lean hogs has gone slightly beyond the channel resistance here, which is a suggestion that this might be about to break up. Okay, great. Let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have none. Everyone take care, and I will catch you guys on Monday morning, and everyone have a great weekend. All right, cheers, Doug.